Ladies and gentlemen, just 2 days ago, Bitcoin confirmed a breakdown on the weekly chart RSI from a very important line, which you can see in white on the screen right now, from 2018. That breakdown had a few people concerned. It would have had me concerned. However, I was able to identify that Bitcoin went straight into a unique market structure, right? It formed straight away from that breakdown a descending wedge formation, which potentially matches the descending wedge formation we have on the Ethereum chart RSI, meaning the breakdown from that 6-year-long support line could not be as bad as we would have otherwise thought if we did not have that wedge formation. So there is actually some good news there. It actually does represent some degree of strength, and it certainly debunks the weakness that otherwise would have been present from that weekly chart RSI breakdown. So good news there. As for the shorter term charts, Bitcoin is making some progress. There is some good news there as well, but we need to do a couple of more things in order to get back out of the woods completely. And we need to look into the upcoming CPI decision, which is coming today, as well as the DXY, the S&P 500, and a couple of things in traditional markets, just to get you updated on that situation. I don't expect this video to take very long. Just some broad updates here today. So before we get into it, let's check out the two exchanges I advertise on this YouTube channel. One of them being Bingx and the other being Bitunix. With these exchanges, you can check out the referral links down below, sign up, get a 15% trading fee discount. They are global non-KYC, so you can sign up from anywhere in the world. I actually handpicked these exchanges. I chose them myself. I didn't just pick some random email I got on my promotions email address. I actually chose them. I used them both myself. 15% trading fee discount with my referral links. Never been hacked before. Very low trading fees to begin with. Check them out with my links down below if you're interested. Let's get into the content. I'm going to start with the weekly chart because I do still see the weekly chart as probably the most important thing on Bitcoin right now. So weekly chart RSI, specifically, I mean, let's just give a brief update on what the structure is first and foremost, then we'll look into the RSI. Right, so the overall market pattern right now, the overall macro range right now is best identified, in my opinion, as a descending channel formation. Not as a horizontal range, but as a descending channel formation. This has been the case since March, early March, so about 5 months now, going on close to 6 months, really, 5.5 months. And I do see that channel formation as basically the be-all, end-all for macro strength on Bitcoin. If it breaks downwards, I would consider Bitcoin to be in a bad position, probably in a bear market, especially if we break the other yellow lines on the screen here as well, which are just additional support lines, right? One of them being stemming backwards from 2018, and one of them stemming backwards from late last year, one of them stemming backwards from the neckline of resistance at the dead cat bounce top in 2021, right? These lines are very important in yellow, but fundamentally it is the channel formation that is going to be determining Bitcoin's security within the macro range. And right now we are in that macro range. We are secure for that reason. And these yellow lines act as a kind of bolstering argument as to that being the case, right? So we're in an okay position for Bitcoin right now. I will say we are in the lower part of the range, so we are technically speaking under threat, under pressure, and this is kind of nail-biting price action, but nothing too bad has happened yet, right? There's been no downside confirmation yet, and so if we're at support, we need to actually be looking for a bounce, and that's what I'm hoping Bitcoin will see here. Now, yesterday we had, or 2 days ago now, Bitcoin broke down from a very, very important weekly chart RSI line stemming back from 2018. That line is incredibly important. In fact, every line you ever see form on the weekly chart RSI is very important, and we can go ahead and fact check this. Let's just draw in a couple, right? Resistance line right here, it led to the end of the COVID drop in the start of a 2021 bull market. Resistance line right here, it led to the end of the bear market in 2022 and the start of a new upswing that's lasted until this point in time. Yet another resistance line breakout right here, as you can see, stemming from around March 2023 all the way through to around October 2023, led to the end of a 7-month consolidation and led to the move that led to the ETF decision and all-time highs, okay, at 74K. So we know for a fact that these RSI lines are very, very important. And just the white line itself from 2018, which broke downwards, I mean, when we broke that line for the first time over here, it led to the end of the dead cat bounce. It led to the marking that level at 47K as the neckline for Bitcoin's bear market structure, which proved to be the case as we retested it during the ETF period, and it led to a collapse into the eventual bear market bottom, right? This is all very, very true. Right, so weekly chart RSI lines are very, very important, and the fact that we came downwards and broke that white line of a downside would have been very concerning if not for the fact that during the breakdown, we actually did something potentially quite good, right? We came and we formed a fresh descending wedge formation, which you can see in yellow. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because it means we still have support here. There still is a structured support zone. So this breakdown isn't really a breakdown. It actually could very well be a fake out. Another reason it's important is because a descending wedge structure is a bullish market pattern. In fact, it is the most bullish market pattern you can get. And the third reason why it's a good thing is because Ethereum, which is known to match and foreshadow the Bitcoin price action, has a descending wedge formation on its RSI weekly chart as well. So there's many good signs here, right? So this breakdown that otherwise would have been a catastrophe, otherwise would have dragged Bitcoin downwards, very likely below its support zones, is not a catastrophe. It is an opportunity for Bitcoin to find strength while a lot of people think it's in a sell-off, right? This could lead to a bounce. Now, obviously, if we come down as we break that weekly chart wedge as well, that's bad news, and then we can start talking about bear cases. But right now, I'm actually not convinced of the bear case, for one, because we're within the macro structure, and for two, because that weekly chart RSI breakdown actually wasn't bad news after all. In fact, what I'm seeing right here is an opportunity. Okay, I'm not sitting here saying I'm super bullish. I'm not. I'm macro bullish because we're in a macro bullish structure. We have not broke down from the macro bullish structure yet. But what I'm seeing is an opportunity, and cautious optimism is, I think, the way to go here. When I look at Bitcoin right now, I do see us as at resistance. There's no doubt about that, okay? No doubt about that whatsoever. I mean, we look at the medium-term charts. We have this red resistance box from 58K to 56K roughly. We are testing that right now for resistance as we speak. In fact, we came upwards and rejected from it briefly. This came after a resurged, bit of strength for Bitcoin. We broke this pink line, which I just drew on the screen. We also broke a 4-hourly chart RSI line, which I'll draw in right now so you can see it. Right, couple breakouts here have led to this uptick. It's good news that we saw those breakouts, but we have not done everything we need to do to get out of the woods, right? Another piece of good news is the fact that Bitcoin has technically seen a higher low here. In fact, that's the first higher low. Look, here's the first low here at 50K or 49K, and the second low would have been here at 52K. Now, very important. That's actually the first higher low that Bitcoin has formed in 6 months, or at least it could be, right? It's not confirmed yet because, under that logic, you could have said that was a higher low, but obviously it didn't lead to a macro breakout. This could be the first higher low Bitcoin has formed in 6 months if we manage to break the high as well. So a good thing about, just a textbook rule, when you're looking at higher lows, when you're looking at lower highs, for example, for establishing downwards trends and higher lows for establishing upwards trends, a higher low is not enough. What you need is a break of a higher high as well, and then you have an uptrend. Because if you have a higher low and then a higher high, what you have is a low, a high, a low that is higher than the recent low, and then a high that is higher than the recent high. So you have 4 data points, which is enough to establish a trend, which is an uptrend in this case, sometimes forming something like a descending channel, which would represent resistance and weakness when we break downwards, or in other cases, forming something much more bullish, which would lead to continued strength. So what I'd like to see Bitcoin do now, because yes, it does have an opportunity, okay? It is at support here in the weekly chart RSI. There is an opportunity to bounce. We're seeing signs of strength, but what I need Bitcoin to do is actually break the recent high here. And the first step towards breaking that high, going back to the weekly chart RSI, would be breaking out of the wedge that is now forming on the weekly chart RSI. If we break that weekly chart RSI wedge, we will see an upswing in momentum that would likely lead to Bitcoin breaking into an upwards trend. And if we break into an upwards trend, that would entail a break above all of the important indicators like the bull market support band, like the Gaussian channel, and I could go on and on and on. But unfortunately, right now, the reason why I'm saying if this happens, and not giving you any direct predictions is because I can't give you predictions right now because the range we are in is by default an uncertain range. It's not in the Bitcoin chart that says that. It's also things like the DXY, the S&P 500. I mean, I'll just look at the DXY, take it as a case study here. The DXY is reverse correlated to assets. So when assets go upwards, the DXY goes down. When the DXY goes down, assets go upwards. And you can see this very clearly. This was the 2017 bull market on Bitcoin. This was the bear market. This was the bull market. This was the bear market. So you can see when Bitcoin goes up, this goes down, and over and over again. These are just connected charts. And so right now, this chart is at strong support that has existed since 2015. And that's not a good sign, right? It means that we should not be rushing into positions right now. You don't buy when the DXY is on support. You buy when the DXY is in a breakdown. And furthermore, you can correlate that back to Bitcoin. You don't necessarily buy when Bitcoin's on support. You buy when Bitcoin's breaking upwards, okay? Because support doesn't really mean much. You need support plus bullish signs, and you can't have bullish signs when the broader macroeconomy is still in such an uncertain position and Bitcoin has not broken out of the structures it's currently pertained within, right? Looking at the macroeconomy more broadly, we are going to have some clarity, luckily, in 8 days with the FOMC decision, and even today, we'll get a bit of clarity with the CPI release that's coming today. So within the next week or so, we'll get some more clarity there. Hopefully, we'll figure out what's going on with traditional markets a little bit more. by the end of the 8-day period here, the end of the FOMC decision. Unfortunately, we just don't have that clarity right now. We look at the S&P 500. It broke down from a triangle formation on its weekly chart RSI. I know I'm focusing very heavily on weekly chart RSIs here. It's just what's relevant right now. It broke down from that weekly chart RSI support, and right now it's seeing a resistance support flip there, which is potentially very threatening. So, we need to watch that very closely, and hopefully we manage to break upwards there on the S&P. I drew that terribly, by the way, but you get the point there. The point is, just as an overall kind of rule of thumb, how I'm feeling about Bitcoin right now, I'm cautiously optimistic. I do see this as an opportunity. This hidden wedge formation that has now revealed itself is great to see. We are on support here with a bullish wedge on the weekly chart for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we formed our potential first proper higher low in 6 months. I mean, there's a few things here that are good to see, but unfortunately just nothing really breaking through that fog of uncertainty quite yet. But certainly an opportunity here, so fingers crossed. Guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you're coping quite well. I understand the boringness can get to you, and so can the uncertainty. Unfortunately, that's just what we have to deal with. The market's not always going to be certain, and especially not in a year like we've seen this year. I mean, this year, ever since the ETF release, has been a wild ride. So we'll just have to see how it goes, and I'll keep you updated for sure. Guys, check out the exchanges again, Bingx, Bitunix. You can use my links down below for 15% trading fee discounts. If you do that, I appreciate it, and you also get on a good exchange. Another thing I'll say is check out my VIP group on Telegram. If you want to get access to altcoin trading signals 4 times a week with a 78% win rate, I've tracked those wins and losses over the course of the last 2 whole years. So 2 years of data and trading have shown a 78% win rate. If that doesn't impress you, I don't know what will. If you want access to that group, you can do so. It's on Telegram. And you're also getting access to a group chat along with the group itself where you get the signal. So that's very good stuff there. I'll mention 2 more things. One of them being the Crypto Academy, my Become a Trader 10-unit course. That's the title of the course, Become a Trader. And of course, if you complete it, you will become a trader. You will have the knowledge to do so. It's actually on sale right now. So if you're interested in trading education, you can check out that website, read up about the course, and throw us an email. Our contact details are on the website down below. There it is, Crypto Academy Courses at gmail.com. And the last thing I'll mention, sorry for the long-winded outro here, is my podcast, okay, my second channel. Take a look at those titles there of those videos. If you're interested in any of those topics, go ahead and check it out. It's JS Quinn on YouTube. I appreciate your support there as well. Guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you tomorrow.